Man, what a crazy week. Jeff Hardy gets released. And what is the status of Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly? Where will they end up? Let's find out. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the World Wrestling Podcast, a podcast by fans for fans. And I am one of your hosts, the Rated R podcast star, Seth. And joining me, as always, is
the world's strongest podcaster, Jen, the WSP of the podcasting.
What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Another day in paradise.
Yeah, we took a little bit of a sabbatical last week just because, we had a lot of craziness going on, but we're back.
Yep. Yeah, we're back. Good. We have some good news to report. Not really good news, but we have news.
Well, we've got stuff to discuss because a lot of it's actually kind of interesting, and I'm kind of wanting to get your take on it. So let's just dive right into it. So last weekend at a house show, right, I guess towards the middle endish of the match, Jeff Hardy just kind of like tags in Drew McIntyre and just kind of like dips out of the ring and just kind of like, just sneaks out through the crowd. And then, everybody's trying to speculate like what's going on, what's happening. Matt Hardy came out and said, "Hey, I spoke to Jeff, he's fine." His wife came out and said he was fine. And then of course, a couple of days later, we find out Jeff Hardy was released. We wish you the best on your future endeavors.
Yep.
like they always do.
I wonder if they give him the catchphrase.
So I wonder, from what I read and what I've been doing some research on, I guess they offered him a new contract, and part of the new contract was offering him rehab.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe something's starting to happen again, and the demons are starting to come back, and maybe he can't handle it. Who knows? However, everybody's thinking, okay, since he's released now, he's jumping ship. Well, he can't really do anything now for 90 days because obviously because of their 90-day non-compete. So maybe he'll take this 90-day stretch of time off, hopefully maybe get his head right if he is having issues again, get himself clean if he's using again. I mean, nobody really knows what's going on or what caused this. So I'm interested to see what you have to say about this.
Well, as someone that grew up during the era of the Hardys versus Dudleys versus Edge and Christian, those TLC matches, I'm a huge fan of of the Hardys and Jeff Hardy in particular. I hate if this is because he fell off the wagon. I hate it. He has so much talent. He's one of the best, and he's one of the most humble people you could ever meet. If you've ever met Jeff Hardy in person, he's amazing. I really hope that it wasn't due to his demons coming back or him falling off the wagon. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe because he's been fighting with some injuries for a few years now. Now with Matt and Beth, I think it's his wife's name, Beth, coming out and saying that he's fine. These are the two people in the world that you would expect to come out and say he's fine. So yeah. I don't know whether to take their word, with a grain of salt or believe them 100%. But if I'm on a bender, I'd expect my family to probably come out and be like, "Hey, he's okay. He's just, he's just there." So
I mean, again, like nobody really knows what's going on. I mean, maybe he just wasn't happy with the way he was being used.
Yeah.
I mean, look what happened to him a couple of weeks ago. He supposedly had won that battle royal to do a program against Roman Reigns. And freaking, Sami Zayn winds up taking it from him. I mean, now who knows if that was the way it was set up or what had happened. But
I've read reports saying that Heyman and Roman both wanted to work with Jeff.
Yeah. So, yeah. They wanted a go around with him, and and
that would have been a great match to watch.
See, but you know what though? It would have worked. From last week up until day one. It would have worked because we all know Brock's fighting Roman at day one.
Yeah.
I mean,
they made it work.
Yeah, they could have had it stretch out across a couple of weeks just to fill some SmackDown time, until they get to day one. But I mean, again, listen, I have my personal thoughts on this. I mean,
Yeah.
I just don't like the way some of these guys are being used, including Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is not a mid card guy.
Well, I would say he's an upper mid card guy. He's definitely
Yeah.
a main event talent. Let's be honest. He's been there. He's held the title.
Yeah. In multiple companies.
Yeah. Definitely. But right now WWE has, just like AEW and other shows, they have so many people that not everybody can be main event guys. Jeff is someone I would have in the upper mid card, IC title, US title, and then at a moment's notice, boom, push him in a promo with Roman as a top guy.
Yeah.
That's his position. He's definitely not a mid or lower mid card guy, because he's one of the best to ever do it, and the guy is fearless.
I agree. So with that being said, obviously, both Jan and I, Jeff, I'm not sure you're listening, but if you do, we both wish you the best. And, we hope whatever's going on, you get your head straight and, you get right. And, we hope to maybe see a possible Hardy Boys reunion in AEW, which would be nice. Maybe, we get the Hardys against the Young Bucks, or, or we get,
I like to see the Hardys versus the Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express, or the Hardys against FTR,
or the Lucha,
or the Lucha Brothers, because those guys are crazy as shit. So that would be some good stuff. Which we're gonna segue now into our next topic of discussion: Johnny Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly.
So I want to start by saying that was when NXT went off the air. If you guys see the videos, that was a hell of a goodbye.
Yeah,
for Kyle and Gargano.
It was more. It's funny though, because watching it felt more like it was for Gargano.
It was for Gargano.
But the cool thing is that Kyle came out to obviously show his support, and Johnny was like, no, this is for you too. Get in here. That's class. Yeah. That's class. He could have easily have just taken that moment and made it all about himself, but that was pure class.
But that's not who Johnny Wrestling is, man.
Yeah,
Johnny
I know.
Wrestling, he's the man for a reason.
So I have my take. I have my take on this. It's interesting to see because yesterday on Pro Wrestling Tees, Johnny Gargano had merchandise show up. So, and then also he posted something on Instagram about reactivating his Twitch account. So, this is leading me to believe maybe, this is just something to, hold him down financially until he, makes a decision on what he wants to do. I mean, Candice isn't due until February. So, I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to take off between now and then. I personally feel he's going to wind up re-signing with WWE, and you're going to
freeze. No, you're not taking my line out of this.
What?
You were the one that said he was going to sign with AEW.
But you know what though? But you know what? But the thing, you know what changed my opinion on that is they gave him that goodbye. They gave him that that big moment, that farewell, so that left the door, that's leaving the door open. Now, me personally, I think he's going to stay in WWE. And I think the next time you see him, he's going to be like number 20 or in the 20s of the Royal Rumble. I think that's where he's going to reappear, is in the Rumble. I think he's going to take some time off just to get his mind right for a little bit. I think he'll probably re-sign with them probably after the new year. After taking a couple of weeks off just to get your mind right. And then I guarantee you he'll be one of those surprise entrants that show up in the Rumble.
I wouldn't mind that. I'd be perfectly okay with him coming out in the Rumble.
Yeah. As far as Kyle goes, Kyle's done.
Kyle is gone.
Dude, Buddy threw up Undisputed Era hands during war games.
Shot the hell out of Wagner.
Yeah. He did. He told him to suck it. Threw up the Undisputed hands, and that was it. So you knew right there that Kyle was done. And I mean, you know what? The fact that Kyle O'Reilly, in my opinion, is on the same level as Johnny Gargano. So like, why not let Kyle get a few moments, and of course they fed him Tuesday night to Von Wagner, just to get Von Wagner some heat and get him over. And
Wagner couldn't get over if you put him on a fucking seesaw, dude.
Yeah, I know. But we'll talk about that in the weekly show
this is about
recap.
Kyle O'Reilly right now.
But I have a feeling, obviously, I've read some stuff. There's talks, obviously, of course, anytime anyone becomes a free agent, AEW is the first place that comes up. One of the other companies that came up in discussion was New Japan.
Yeah.
So it'll
but
be.
let's be honest. They're reforming Undisputed Era in AEW.
They're gonna
Listen,
unite
normally I'm the guy that says, look, AEW has too many people. You know, Impact needs some good talent.
You could squeeze Kyle O'Reilly in AEW.
I could squeeze Kyle O'Reilly. Listen. All I need is for them to let go of Roderick Strong too. You know, so we can get the era of undisputedness.
The era of undisputedness.
AEW. I'm one of those guys that I say, no, guys, stop. Not everybody needs to go to AEW. You're gonna make AEW the next WWE.
Yeah, I mean, people should start kind of like trying to slide into the owner of Impact's DMs and just be like, "Hey, you guys looking for some talent?" I mean, it's good that Jonah's over there now, obviously, aka Bronson Reed. Reed. But again, I think they can if they get a little bit more of these guys that are being released over at Impact. Impact could possibly be a contender.
I have this feeling right now, and you might not agree with me, but right now, except for maybe a few guys, Impact feels like an entire mid-card division.
It does. I mean, it's
and don't get me wrong, I like Impact. And
I like Impact too.
And I like the wrestlers there. And I have nothing against mid-card guys. You need mid-card guys.
Yeah.
But it feels like Impact doesn't have, Moose, Josh Alexander, but it doesn't have an it guy, like the man, And there's a few guys that could be Keith Lee could be the man.
I think they do. I just don't think they're using him appropriately right now.
And I 100% agree with you. I know who we're talking about.
Who am I talking about?
I'm not going to say it here. That would make no sense.
I'm talking about Matt Cardona. My buddy Matt.
Say that. Matt Cardona is definitely a main event guy, but
he is a main event guy. He needs the opportunity. He's good on the mic. He's good in the ring.
Yeah, Matt Cardona, Moose, Josh Alexander, those are main event caliber guys. But the fact is that Impact feels like everybody's, since I feel like everybody's like a mid card, it brings them down. You need top level talent to make these guys also top level talent.
Maybe Jeff Hardy might go back to Impact. Who knows?
That'd be good.
And they need to stop doing they need to stop doing that shit in studio, man. They need to take that shit on the road and start hitting stadiums. That way you can get the crowd behind you and all that stuff. But we're jumping off topic. But
we're still talking about where people are leaving.
But Kyle, I think, like I said, I agree with you. I think he's gonna wind up in AEW. Yeah. I don't know to what capacity. I mean, I don't know if they're really gonna reunite the era right away.
It shouldn't be right away.
I don't think it should be right away.
It should be a slow build up.
It should. Well, there's a couple of things that need to happen for that to happen properly. Kenny Omega 1 needs to come back.
Yeah, definitely. Kenny Omega needs to come back. But before that, the Young Bucks and Adam Cole need to start.
Yeah, feuding. Having a little bit of disagreement. Disagreements. Yeah, and then Kenny needs to come back, and then they need to turn on Adam Cole, and then obviously. Then it's a series of things where Adam Cole's on his own.
Yeah, 3-on-1s.
He goes out for a couple. He goes out on his own for a couple of matches, and then the Young Bucks and Kenny keep interfering in the matches, and beating him up and all that stuff, causing him to lose and whatnot. And then
he delivers that line saying, "I'm not alone. I have family."
Yeah,
and then Diesel's music hits.
Yeah.
And then the Undisputed Era show.
Yeah, shock. The system.
No, system the shock.
The system the shock. So you build it up slowly, and then you make it like a pay-per-view match where you've got Kenny and the Young Bucks against Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly.
It has to feel almost like when remember when Vince and that cheerleading team,
the Spirit Squad,
those dudes were attacking Triple H, and Triple H brought Shawn Michaels back.
Yeah,
like that moment.
Yeah, and that was when DX came back.
When Triple H is getting jumped by a Spirit Squad, and Vince is telling everybody to come out, and I know where you see Kenny fly out.
Yeah,
and Shawn Michaels just stands there at the top of a ramp. That moment was so good.
Yeah, that was good. That was good stuff, man. But yeah, they need to build. They need to build to that.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Kyle is definitely AEW inbound. A lot of
and I want
people are.
something you said earlier. Kyle is definitely on that level of Gargano
Oh, absolutely,
and
Champa and
Adam
all
Cole,
those guys.
and I feel like they've made Kyle look like a mid Carter, but
When he's
Kyle is
not, yeah,
definitely a top level guy. The guy's like Dean Malenko. The guy can go in the ring,
he's the
and he's
master of
great on the mic.
he's the master of holds and submissions.
Yeah, did you see that guy move?
Yeah,
He can wrestle.
yeah.
So if anything,
Listen,
he's on a tier higher than them.
listen.
Wrestling wise.
He was able to wrestle a guy that was like double his size in Von Wagner. So I mean, but yeah.
And put on at least a 4-star match with
Yeah.
a guy that's a walking beanstalk.
Yeah. Unbelievable fun.
Like Big Cass and Tess had a retarded baby. It's
Oh my god! And he was the afterbirth.
He's like the Bizarro of Tess and Big Cass.
Oh my god! So yeah, so I'm saying Johnny. At the end of the day, I'm saying Johnny's going to stay with WWE, and I think he's going to show up at the Rumble. They're just giving him some time off just to get his mind right, and
Kyle.
And we're the era of Undisputed. So, but yeah, I definitely feel that Kyle's gonna end up in AEW. And you know what? The feeling is that he might show up Wednesday at Winter's Coming. If they can get a deal, together that fast. I mean, I'm sure they could. I mean, they got Adam Cole's deal together in like 4 days, before the pay-per-view. So I mean, it's possible.
It's possible. The possibilities are endless. There's so many things that can happen, but I'm definitely on the same page with you as far as where they'll end up.
Yeah. All right. So now it's time for the weekly recap. So starting out Monday Night Raw, right out of the gate, we get the steel cage match. Big E defeats Kevin Owens. Yeah, I don't. I think they're just, so here's my thought on this real fast, because this is so day one. I think like maybe that week or right after day one is when Kevin Owens' contract is done with WWE. Because of how strong Big E and Seth Rollins are right now at the moment, I think they threw Kevin Owens into that match just so neither Big E or Seth Rollins has to take the pin.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And I don't think Big E's gonna drop the belt anyway. No. So I think Big E picks up the pin on Kevin, and both Big E and Seth look strong. And Kevin Owens leaves to hopefully Impact and put some more star power on that show.
A guy like
Stop arguing with me.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying a guy like Kevin Owens, I think, is good, definitely an AEW bound, especially because of his history with the Bucks. I have to say it because of his history with the Bucks.
I 100% agree with you that he is a good fit. He's a great fit for AEW.
Yeah.
But he'll be mid-card again in AEW. He'll be facing Sammy Guevara for the TNT title.
He'll be Kevin. He'll go back to his name. He'll be Kevin Steen.
In Impact, he'll be the Impact World Heavyweight Champion. Hands down.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree with that.
And that show needs star power. There's let's face it. Anyone WWE releases other than Von Wagner, Almost, and Dominic would be perfect fits for AEW, because AEW the dream matches would be endless. But Impact needs guys. Impact needs guys like that to build it.
Yeah, Impact definitely. See, like now, and again, so I mean, not to get off topic, but what you're saying does make a lot of sense, and that's why I'm not arguing with you. I think a lot of these guys that got released, like your Keith Lees, and a few other guys like a John Morrison. We
get Johnny Impact back.
No, not even that, dude. They should totally be using Impact right now. Maybe sign like a 1 year deal with them or something like that. Maybe like a 6-month deal.
Something quick.
Just to go in there and rebuild your brand, rebuild your stock. That way you can get, that way when the time comes, you've rebuilt your image, you've rebuilt your stock, you showed people that you could still go, and then at that point, you might be considered a hot commodity, a hot free agent.
Look at Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
he did his stunt in New Japan and Impact. He came back.
Left. Yeah,
was thrown immediately into the heavyweight title picture.
Well,
You know,
not really, not really. They had him. They
he
had
had
him with
old
Ziggler for a little
stuff,
bit.
but
Yeah,
he was in the main event scene.
but he proved himself. But he proved himself
Yeah.
ultimately that he could be a number one
Yeah.
guy.
That
And
he gained 100 pounds of muscle.
and unfortunately, due to the pandemic, I don't think he really got a fair shake because you get the thing is that these guys live off the audience. If there's no one there, and I commend these guys for doing that with no audience.
No cheering, no
Yeah,
booing. They
yeah.
were still able to put on matches.
Yeah, because that's how they feed, the energy feeds the match.
Yeah.
You get, the highs, the lows, you get, ooh, ah, oh, you get your holy shits, and
Yeah.
this is awesome. You get that stuff, but to do it during to have a title reign with no crowd
And be able to
must have been,
carry the company on
yeah,
your back the way he did,
exactly.
because he was doing great.
Exactly. So I mean, kudos to him, and it just goes to show you, there are people out there that are driven and hungry and want it, and given the opportunity, you give them the ball, they can run with it.
Yeah.
So
And McIntyre definitely ran with it.
yeah, we get the WWE Tag Team Champion Queen Zelina again defeating Nikki ASH. Then we move to the Street Profits. Defeating AJ Styles and Omos in the RK Bro tournament first round match.
Okay, Bronament.
So here's my gripe about this. Obviously, we all see the writing on the wall. It's only a matter of time now before AJ Styles and Omos split.
Thank God.
Now here's the now I'm excited, but I'm also a little confused at the same time because obviously we all know, AJ Styles going on a singles run, we're okay with that because we know he can do that. What do you do with Omos?
Pair him with Von Wagner.
And what do you call them?
What
do you call them? The Twin Towers?
Yes. Why the hell not? Listen, Vince. This is Bruce Pritchard. This is
listen up.
You be the slowest tag team in history, and you have the great Khali manage them.
Oh my God. I don't have to cut you now. But yeah, man. So it's like obviously we all see the writing on the wall and things that have been going on. So it's like I'm interested. Like I said, we all know what they're going to do with AJ. He's going to get his singles run back, and maybe they'll have they'll put AJ in a in a feud with Big E.
Oh my God, that'd be gold.
Which is great because we all know what AJ can do,
and that would cement Big E as a main event guy.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
A good program with AJ.
Yeah.
Now Omos will be all elite. Somo becomes all elite.
Nice. Somo, yeah, you just rearranged the letters. Somo is all elite.
Soom.
Then we get Damian Priest defeating Robert Roode. No big shakes there. Bianca Belair defeating Doudrop via countout.
This happened like 2 weeks ago also.
Yeah, they're trying to build this feud between them, but I don't think it's really going anywhere.
Doudrop doesn't work as a heel.
Then we get the Edge and Miz on Miz TV. They agree to fight each other at day one. So Maurice is back. Actually, as she's gonna get in the ring. I guess she's gonna get in the ring from what I was reading, that she
was never able to get a ring in her prime.
So, well, she was a Divas champion at one point.
That does not say a lot.
But obviously we heard the news. What is it, last week when Beth Phoenix was stepping away? So that leads me to believe that Beth went back to go get some in-ring, to get back into in-ring shape, and we're going to wind up happening at some point.
Couples match.
Which we've already had the Miz and Maurice against John Cena and Nikki Bella, and
Edge and Beth better watch out, because Cena and Nikki had that match with them. They got engaged and like 6 months later broke up.
Yeah, I'm gonna break your back. Yeah, I'm gonna break your back, bitch. Break your back, bitch. Then we get another match from the Arcade Bronament. We get the Mysterios defeating Alpha Academy, which we know in real life that would never happen. Alpha Academy would squash.
Alpha Academy is legit.
Yeah.
I hate the fact that they've turned into a joke team, because Chad Gable is the shit.
Yeah, he is. He's a great wrestler.
That's the second coming of Kurt Angle, and they're using him like
Yeah,
dog wash.
yeah. Then we get finally Finn Balor gets a much needed win against T-Bar. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. When they announced that match, I thought they were gonna use Finn Balor to push T-Bar, and I was
oh my god!
pissed.
If they did that, that's when Finn Balor just needs to get up and pull a Jeff Hardy and just disappear in the crowd, and then just be like,
"I'm going back to New Japan."
We wish you luck on your future endeavors, Finn Balor.
Finn Balor will tell WWE, "I wish you luck in your future endeavors."
Then we get the main event of the evening: Becky Lynch versus Liv Morgan. Good match.
Good match. It was
good match. Liv definitely hold her own. I was actually pulling for Liv to win, but unfortunately, Becky did the whole roll up and grab the rope thing, and obviously the ref didn't see it. So, which leads me to believe that I think Liv's probably going to wind up getting a match at day one.
Yeah, that feud's not over yet.
Yeah,
and you know what? The way they're pushing it, I think she'll go over on day one.
And obviously we didn't. And obviously we didn't do the show last week, but the promo between Becky and Liv was kind of interesting because Liv was like, Becky brought up about her friends being released, and and then Liv was like, "Oh, my friends were only released to fill your fat contract." Yeah, I mean, I was like, "Wow, dude!" I was like, "Are they really stooping that low to like take shots at the released people?" I mean, it's like, come on, it's like
I don't know. That was them. If you look at the replays, WWE removed it from the replays.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that was Liv Morgan just screw you.
Yeah.
WWE's like, no,
yeah,
we're not bringing that up on TV.
Back up,
bitch,
back up. So then we jump. So like we said, I'm sure Liv's gonna get her rematch against Becky at the day one. NXT 2.0. Braun.
Monster.
You know what? I didn't know how I really felt about this kid at first, but I really like him. He's starting to grow on me. Like he is
the perfect mix between Scott and Rick Steiner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott Steiner's intensity.
Yeah,
but Rick Steiner's wrestling ability.
Yeah.
I'm like, this guy. People, JBL used to say that if he was going to build a superstar from the ground up, it would be Randy Orton. I think Braun Breaker comes in a really close second to that.
Yeah, I mean,
good.
You know what the funny thing is that he looks like Rick, obviously, because that's his dad. Yeah. But he gets the mic. And it's like I feel like I'm listening to Scott Steiner
every time he talks. I'm like, yes, give me that intensity.
Yeah, I feel it, and I can see why they're giving this kid the push. So
for someone that's new,
that's fairly new.
You would think he's taken the NXT ball and ran with it.
Well, you gotta understand something too. You've got your dad and your uncle who've been in the business for God knows how many years. Right. Obviously, they can.
And his dad used to manage him in the Indies. I mean, his uncle.
It's a well of knowledge. Yeah. Between the two of them. So I mean, he knows what to expect walking in, walking out, what
only that, you think about it, how many friends do his dad and his uncle have in the business that also coach him and give him advice? This kid was bred for this. Yeah. He's a thoroughbred when it comes to wrestling.
So obviously he's in the ring talking about how he wants another shot at Ciampa. Diamond Mine comes out, but Roderick Strong wasn't there. But now that I guess, which is stupid because now that they've lifted the weight restrictions
on the
cruiserweight title, I mean, come on. So obviously
Braun is not a cruiserweight.
Yeah. So next week, Braun Breaker's fighting Roderick Strong for the belt. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
And he's not going to take a pin from Roderick Strong.
Oh, no.
Braun Breaker's about to become the cruiserweight champion.
I don't know if he's going to be the cruiserweight champion. I think what's going to happen is that obviously the Diamond Mine just might interfere at that point. So,
and this is a stretch. But what if he wins and they change the cruiserweight title to an X Division type belt?
It could be interesting
since they took away the weight restrictions. Maybe
Yeah,
they're gonna
but see,
change the
but I don't see
cruiserweight
it.
belt
I don't see it that way
to
because
be like
that's
a
how I.
mid card to be like a
No,
mid
no,
card
because
belt for
that's the
NXT.
North American. That's the North American Championship belt.
True. They do have that North
So
American
you
belt.
can't even look at it that way. Maybe that's just the title. They rearranged the name of it somehow and give it a stupid name, and it's just the title that for newbies that they want to strap up eventually, but this is just something to hold them over in the meantime. This
I
is
guess
the almost you're almost ready championship.
the almost NXT champ.
You're the almost NXT champ. Then we go right into the steel cage match with Von Wagner defeating Kyle O'Reilly. I mean, listen, we all knew that Von Wagner wasn't going to lose to Kyle O'Reilly because Kyle O'Reilly was leaving. If Kyle O'Reilly won that match, that would have been like, okay, maybe he might have just re-signed just before.
Could we, instead of that, could we had Diamond Mine come out and challenge O'Reilly, and O'Reilly and Strong would have had a match, and
that would have been
O'Reilly.
that would have been a great match.
And then O'Reilly, rides off into the AEW sunset.
Yeah, send him off the way he wants to be sent off. Don't send him
to his friend.
Don't do this Von Wagner bullshit. I mean, listen, the guy is still clearly green.
Von Wagner's gonna get over on a roller coaster, bro.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, we're not being biased. We really don't.
Being biased.
We don't hate Von Wagner. It's just that this dude just
green.
He just they and the funny thing is too is like people are talking about too. It's like he made that one appearance on SmackDown and then he never showed up on SmackDown ever again.
Here's my thing on Von Wagner. I don't hate him. He's just green. I think he has potential. I think he has the look. The guy's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
the guy definitely has potential.
Well, he has the standard Vince look.
Yeah. I think they can do something with him. But right now, the push they're giving him, he's not ready for it. And that's my one take, that they're giving him a position they can give to someone that is ready for that position.
Yeah. So, of course, obviously, to get more heat on Wagner after the match was over, Wagner slammed his head into the door a couple of times, and obviously that was the last we've seen of Kyle O'Reilly. So Then we go on to Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, which I like to call the new Bart and Billy Gunn. And then we get they defeat the Creed brothers. We get Dexter Lumis defeating Carmelo via disqualification. Listen, now that obviously Johnny's gone, the whole storyline with Dexter Lumis and all that stuff is going to fizzle away. I'm hoping now it gets to the point where they actually give Dexter Lumis his just dues and they actually give this guy a push, because I love the character. I love the gimmick. He's a great wrestler.
Oh yeah. The guy has everything going from the look, his style, his intensity. Like, the guy's just standing there with those piercing blue eyes, and you're like, God damn.
Yeah,
like,
this dude's gonna murder somebody.
Exactly. Like, he looks like a serial killer. So I think this match with Carmelo Hayes, I think that's gonna be a good push for him to maybe take the strap off Hayes.
Yeah, maybe. Then we get the NXT tag team champions Gigi Dolan and JC Jane defeating Yusa Leon and Valentina for it, huh?
You can just
Toxic Attraction, yeah. So we know they weren't going to drop that. They're not dropping those belts anytime soon.
Hottest thing in NXT right now.
Then we get Andrade 2.0 Santos Escobar defeating Zion Quinn, and listen, I'm starting to see what you saw in Zion Quinn. So
I'm telling you, man,
the dude could wrestle.
Yeah, I haven't eyed scout talent. Damn it. And
WWE, get this man a job as talent.
I'm telling you,
talent
man,
relations.
I will take Johnny Laurinaitis' job, and I would turn this company around.
That wouldn't be hard to do.
It really wouldn't. I mean, they hired a chick that used to write comic books and shit to write their story. So, and Andrade 2.0, I like Santos Escobar. I actually like his whole faction and all of that, but Zion Quinn, there's no reason he should have taken that pin.
No. So it should have really
weeks, and then
it should have really ended with the two other guys coming in and everybody just attacking Zion Quinn, and that would have been it. And then that could lead to setting up to that match for New Year's Evil.
I like the name of that pay-per-view. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Then we get Johnny Gargano comes out and is trying to say his farewell. And he's like Sean said, I could have much time, as much time as I want. So obviously we didn't get the the payoff that we were hoping for.
Not on camera.
Not on camera, but basically what happened is Grayson Waller came out because of what happened with LA Knight earlier. LA Knight stole his girl and drove off, which was freaking hilarious.
LA Knight.
So, but Grayson Waller comes out and just beats the snot out of Johnny Gargano. And, so two takeaways from that. That's either the last time you're going to see Johnny Gargano, and if that is the last time you see him, that was a pretty shitty way to send him out on television.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not the last time we see him and he resigns, obviously they left it open to where he can come back and have a match against Grayson Waller to get payback.
Winter is coming.
Winter's so that's how that ended. But then again, like we talked about in the beginning, they had that off-camera moment where everybody, he was going around shaking hands, taking pictures with everybody, and thanking everybody.
DIY reformed in the ring.
Yeah, DIY. So and now it makes you wonder, like, how does if you look at everybody that's on the NXT roster, it's like Ciampa's like really only the last guy standing.
He is. Out of the original NXT guys?
Out of the original, Ciampa's only like Ciampa's like one of the last guys standing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else, and I think Ciampa is the last one.
Yeah. So
he's the gatekeeper. He's like, no. That's why he holds that title, though he does. No.
So I mean, who's to say that he doesn't wind up fighting Braun at New Year's Evil, and Braun beats him at New Year's Evil. And then that's Ciampa's time to either, you either shit or you get off the pot. So either you stay at NXT or you move up to the main roster. And then you see Ciampa, show up in the Rumble.
Yeah. Sadly, I think Ciampa moves up to the main roster. Yeah. And you know how that's gonna end.
We don't know.
They tried it once.
We don't know.
They tried it once.
But that was when they were doing the NXT invasion thing for Survivor Series.
Yeah, and Malachi, Aleister Black and Ricochet stayed on the main roster, and DIY was shipped right back.
Yeah, well, but they were at that point, Aleister and Ricochet really weren't ratings drawings for NXT. Johnny Gargano and Ciampa were, so I understand that move.
That's true.
Then we go into AEW Dynamite, and man, what a way to start off AEW Dynamite in Long Island. All of a sudden, MJF's music hits, and nope, CM Punk comes out.
That was that right there.
What a troll! What a troll!
Moment of the week.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Obviously, Punk came out, cut a promo, and that was it. And obviously, every promo since the first promo is just kind of falling flat.
Yep.
That
first promo, you can't. It's hard to top that.
There were a few things that both of them said in each of their own solo promos that were pretty good, but nothing that could top that first one. Yeah. But we're still getting good. We're still getting good promos. It's not as good as that first one.
It's not like they're shitting the bed. You know, the promos are great. But they set the bar so freaking high.
Yeah, they did. That first one, it's hard to follow. It is. It really is.
It's
then
like the pipe bomb. 30 moments that
you can't. Then we go right into the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. So of course they do like this vignette before the Battle Royal starts. To welcome home MJF, and it was actually kind of cool to see somebody who never breaks character. Break character just for a hair, just for a hair. He got down on his knees and everybody was cheering for him, and it was great. And then he did the whole thing where he went up the barricade on both sides and everybody was patting him, where normally he doesn't do that. So it was great. It was great to see him humanized a little bit. I'm
not gonna lie, at first I was a little upset because he's the ultimate heel.
He is the ultimate heel.
He needs to be like, fuck you. I don't need.
Yeah, I don't need you guys. Yeah, I don't need this homecoming. Yeah,
screw Long Island. Like Miz when he went to Cleveland. Like, oh, I moved to Hollywood now. Like he shit on all his fans. Like,
well, because he's a less famous Miz.
He's a less famous Miz. And he proved it.
Yeah,
He fell into the trap and started celebrating with the crowd.
So
but
then
it was nice to see him get that.
get the pop. Yeah, get the pop. So obviously the match started, and then it wound up. People started getting eliminated, and then it was funny too because MJF eliminated Wardlow. Which I think that's a match we might see at some point down the road is an MJF against the Wardlow, because Wardlow might get tired of that that BS. So that was interesting at that point. Obviously, it was funny too. It was kind of weird because like I really wasn't sure how this Diamond Battle Royal played out, because like to me a Battle Royal is the last person standing is the winner.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're having a thing where I guess it's the last two guys have a match for the ring. So the last two guys were Dante Martin and MJF, and it was good to see Dante Martin turn on Team Taz. So we, which was great. So because to have that kid shouldn't be in a faction, because he's just gonna get lost. He's too talented.
Yeah.
He's too talented for that. So now we get MJF shakes his hand. He walks out of the ring, and then of course Ricky Starks starts beating up. Beating him up, and I'm like, MJF is having that like gut check moment, like on the ramp. He's like, do I go back? Do I come back? And he goes back, and then in the ultimate heel move, him and Ricky Starks just start beating the shit out of Dante Martin, which was great. And then of course CM Punk came out, and that was that.
That's one of those ones where I'm like, dude, you better not. Don't turn face. Don't turn face. And then he's like, no, I'm a motherfucking heel.
Yes. So here's a prediction. Here's a prediction, not a spoiler, as Paul Heyman would ever so eloquently put it. Dante Martin's winning that match next week. He's going to become the Diamond Battle Royal winner.
Yeah.
CM Punk's gonna come out and cost MJF the match.
Yeah. MJF's still in a feud with CM Punk. There's no reason why he shouldn't move on like that. Yeah. So Punk's gonna come out and cost MJF the match, and obviously Dante Martin will be the Diamond Battle Royal winner. So then we move on to the Acclaimed with 2.0 against Jurassic Express and the Varsity Blondes. That was a great match.
Yeah, really good match. Obviously,
I'm a
Jurassic Express.
Huge fan of Brian Pillman Jr.
Yeah, he's good. I hope he gets a singles push at some point.
Don't pull out a gun.
Wow. Don't break into Stone Cold's house. Don't break into Stone Cold's house. So that was a good match. Obviously, Jungle Boy hit the snare trap, and the rest was history. Then we get the Young Bucks finally back in action against Rocky Romero and Chuck Taylor. So Young Bucks obviously wound up winning that match, because they're the Young Bucks.
Yeah, that match was so forgettable.
Yeah. Then we get match. Then we got something that kind of upset me a little bit.
What? No.
We got Sammy Guevara's on stage. He's being interviewed by Shivani, and then of course Cody's music hits before the kid could even get a word out, and he's like, "Oh, so next week, me versus you for the TNT belt."
Yeah,
and it's
Tony
like
already.
Yeah. He's like, I spoke to Tony already, and this is happening. And the funny thing is to me is that this is happening, obviously, to only further elevate the possible potential heel turn.
Which was excellent. The way he did it, hey, I talked to the boss already. It's done. Yeah. You and me for the title.
Yeah. He's like, I'll see you next week, kid. And then he patted him on the. But then we got Scorpio Sky and
such a sleazy heel move.
Yeah. And then we get Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page, in the upper deck, come out, and they start talking, and dude, Ethan Page said something that was like, wow, man. He's like, geez, he's like, I wish I was a VP too, that way I can get a title shot. So, yeah. So that was great, man. Ethan Page is great, dude. I love that guy on the mic is gold.
Yeah, man.
So I'm assuming that's gonna eventually lead to an Ethan Page Sammy Guevara match at some point.
Yeah.
Then we get Jamie Hayter.
Wait, do you think Sammy drops the title to Cody?
No.
Me neither.
No.
We're on the same page. Me neither.
No. But I do think that's where I do think this is the possibility though where Cody does turn heel. Like after the match is over, he goes to shake his hand, and then Cody just low blows him. So I think
hit him with the crossroads,
and then Cody grabs the mic and he's like, "This is what you want, isn't it?" And then finally everybody starts cheering him.
And then he goes, "Just kidding," and he walks away.
Yeah, just kidding. We're still face. So then
you saw that Brandy Rhodes might start wrestling again.
Yeah, well, she is. She's trying to get herself into shape. And again, you've got another. This is the.
I'm okay with that. Anyone that wants to wrestle, go wrestle.
Yeah.
Now they shouldn't put the strap on her. But
No.
I'm okay with her wrestling. That's how you get better.
Then we get Jimmy Hayter against Riho. Riho obviously won that match, which is obviously setting up for her match against Britt Baker. So we'll see what fire. We'll see what happens with that. This Rio's on fire. Then we get Bryan Danielson against John Silver. Dude, not gonna lie, I really like that guy, John Silver.
That was
that dude can wrestle.
Honestly, I think everybody on
what their roster can wrestle.
No, and yeah, definitely. But I think everybody in the Dark Order is just so freaking good.
Yeah,
like it's hard to pick someone from the Dark Order that would be like the breakout superstar. Like
I think it's him. I think it's John Silva. Yeah. I think John Silva has the potential to be the breakout star from that.
I agree. But is that they're all talented though?
Oh yeah, of course.
Except for maybe Colt Cabana, who's forgettable as hell.
Well, his listen, Colt they use him as a as like a mic guy because he's good on the mic.
Great on the mic.
He's good on the mic. So they use him as a as a mic guy really more than anything.
But whoever put together this team, did great. And
absolutely,
they should teach WWE because Retribution was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
Like, why? Well, whatever.
But
I'm not gonna touch on that.
It was a good match. Obviously, Bryan Danielson obviously wound up winning, and then of course Hangman. Then Brian grabs the mic and he's like, I told you I was going to stomp their head in. And I didn't live up to my end of the deal, but we're going to do that right now. And then he starts doing the stomp to Silva, and then Hangman comes out and they start kind of going at it, which of course is leading to next week. Again, I don't see this happening. I don't see Hangman dropping the belt to Danielson so soon, especially since Hangman hasn't even had a match in a couple of weeks.
I don't know, man. This is the best run that Bryan Danielson's been on since that miraculous one.
WrestleMania. Yeah, WrestleMania. Yeah,
Bryan's on fire, dude.
Yeah,
and let's be real. Company wise, Bryan Danielson is much more marketable than Hangman Page.
Yeah. I'm saying I can kind of see your point.
I agree with you in the sense that this guy hasn't defended the belt yet.
He hasn't had a match since he beat Omega.
Exactly. But Danielson's the hottest thing in AEW right now, dude.
Yeah.
The guy's on fire.
Yeah.
And probably the best heel second to MJF.
Oh.
So
yeah.
There's good heels in AEW, but none MJF or Bryan right now. His character right now, he's not there with a hemp belt or doing all that shit.
Oh no, the hemp belt.
this ruthless Bryan Danielson, dude.
Yeah,
he has no ego.
Yeah, super cutthroat. So then we jump into Impact. So we get Lady Frost defeating Kimber Lee. We got Deonna Purrazzo and
Matthew.
It's Rusev Day.
Yeah,
Aiden English. Matthew Reed Holt defeating Mickey James and Chris Sabin. Hardcore Country.
Yo, I haven't seen Chris Sabin in a minute, bro.
Yeah, he was on a couple weeks ago.
Chris Sabin still wrestling.
Yeah, and then we get Rohit Raju against Lawrence Diaz in a no contest. Josh Alexander comes out and calls out Jonah.
Yo, I was gonna ask, what's up with that?
What?
Why isn't Josh Alexander going back after Moose?
Because Jonah attacked Joe. Well, because they're having. Well, so here's the thing. So Jonah obviously attacked Josh Alexander, and now you're having the feud with Moose and Matt and W Morrissey. So there's really not any room right now for Josh Alexander, but he'll get back there.
They should have. they moved on from Moose and Josh Alexander as fast as it started. Like Moose beat Josh for the title. They should have feuded for that thing.
Yeah.
You know,
they're good. They're good. They're going to. I think it'll go back. It'll go back there.
It better, because Josh Alexander is great.
Then we get Finn Juice defeating the Learning Tree.
So
I love the Learning Tree, because the Learning Tree is Brian Myers' faction. So I love that. I think that's great. Then we get Eric Young defeating Rhino in a street fight. How can you beat the Rhino?
I was gonna say that. Anything that's hardcore, unless your name is Tommy Dreamer, you're not beating Rhino.
Yeah, you're not beating Rhino. So, again, I'm sure it's just to put Eric.
Daniel Bryan from Wish.
Daniel Bryan from Wish. Then we get Decay defeating the Inspiration and Influence. And then we get
so Mac. I don't.
Okay.
I love Decay. I think that team is great. I have no idea how the freak Cassie and Jesse McKay, the Iconics, the Inspiration, keep getting hired by wrestling companies.
Yeah.
They are washed out versions of the Bella Twins. Listen, I normally do not hate on wrestlers because just stepping into the ring is
you're not feeling the inspiration.
I just can't get behind them, man. I cannot get behind.
It's hard. It's hard. I hear you. I mean, they were better when they were the Iconics. The Inspiration is kind of hard because the gimmick for the Iconics was a lot better.
Yeah, and I liked what they were able to do as the Iconics. Not that they were barn burners, but I feel like it's better than the Inspiration. I think that's just horrible.
Yeah. So then we go into there was a promo earlier in the show where Matt was talking, and it was funny because the week before, obviously we missed it, and Moose cut a pretty good promo on Matt calling instead of calling him Matt, he called him Mid Cardona.
Mid Cardona, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of clever. But Matt
is good on the mic.
Yeah, but so Matt was basically like, getting pissed off. He's tired of all this, and he was like, he's like, if you don't want me to be in this match, he goes, I'll wrestle you right now. And he's like, if you beat me, then I'm out of the title. I'm out of the title match at Hard to Kill. So they had a match, and ultimately what wound up happening is that Matt won by disqualification, so he's still in that triple threat match. Moose came out and shoved I'm drawing a blank. Shoved his girlfriend, Chelsea. Shoved Chelsea, and Matt got up and he beat the crap out of Moose, and then obviously the show ends with Matt in the middle of the ring holding the belt, and I'm like, please God, just give this guy something just once, just to see that, just so he can prove he
deserves it.
He deserves it, and he can do it. So
give him the ball, let him run with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping they let him win, and they give him his just due, and then obviously
don't make all his death matches. He's put in his dues.
Well, the other thing too is like, let the guy win and let the guy have a little bit of a run. Don't make him drop it the following Thursday, following Thursday night. You know what I mean? So so that was good there. Then we jump into Friday night, and Sami Zayn comes out, promo, your favorite to start out a show. Sami Zayn comes out.
Actually a good promo though.
Yeah. Sami Zayn came out talking about like how he was going to sue a bunch of people, and then Paul Heyman comes out, and then all of a sudden, lumberjack, freaking Brock Lesnar comes out.
Lumberjack country.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar comes out wearing freaking overalls, which was great.
Yo.
Which was great. It was great.
It was so. He looked like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre with a ponytail.
I'm sitting there. I was like, it's country Lesnar, down home cooking Lesnar. So
lumberjack Lesnar.
Yeah, lumberjack Lesnar. So, Lesnar sits down in the ring, and he's like, Sammy, what's the matter, buddy? I thought we were friends.
Yo, this is the best Brock's done in
a long time. And it was funny too, because that was what was Melissa was saying too last night. She goes, dude, she's like, I really like this Brock. I'm like, I like this Brock too, So, we're having fun with it, we're whatnot. And then Paul Heyman takes the mic.
This is the part.
Yeah, this is the part. Paul Heyman takes like, what happened to you?
You become soft.
Yeah, he's like, what is this? He goes, what happened to the reigning, defending, undisputed, and we were like, Paul Heyman? what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, for real. Like, dude, did you forget about the tribal
Like,
chief?
did you? I'm sorry, my tribal chief. I'm betraying you. I'm betraying you, my tribal chief. You know, we you
My
know.
tribal chief.
So of course, it was very interesting to see that happens, and then of course has Brock Lesnar's beating the shit out of everybody. You know, Paul Heyman. You could see Paul Heyman off in the corner, kind of like smiling. You know, like that mischievous, like doing the Mr. Burns thing. Yes, Smithers.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes. Excellent.
Excellent.
Yo,
So
Brock
yeah.
destroyed everyone. Brock
Yeah, he
went
did.
from fun promo Brock to beast Brock in a second.
Like, from 0 to 60 and like that. So that was a good way to start out the show. Then obviously it goes to commercial, it cuts back, and who's in the ring? Los Lotharios to take on Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. So that was
I hate this whole segment.
So that was a decent match.
It actually was a pretty decent match.
Yeah.
Listen, you know what? Regardless of their names, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo can go in the ring.
Yeah,
they're great. These guys are great in the ring.
And
Shinsuke. Let's face it, it's fucking Shinsuke.
I love Rick Boogs. Don't you ever deny Rick Boogs.
Okay, I'm just skipping over Boogs.
Okay, so here let's do this. Who would you rather see, Von Wagner or Rick Boogs?
Dominic Mysterio.
Dominic Mysterio. So then we get McIntyre versus Sheamus, and
again,
you know, again, but you know,
McIntyre Sheamus are the new John Cena versus Randy Orton.
But basically, McIntyre just squashed Sheamus.
Yeah.
You know, which is kind of weird because like the past couple of weeks, you know, Sheamus was coming on pretty strong, and now you just basically had McIntyre squash him.
I don't think I've ever seen Sheamus get handled like that ever.
Yeah.
Ever in his career. He's faced the Big Show, Mark Henry. I think he faced Ryback. He's never been whooped the way Drew McIntyre whooped him.
And then we finally get what we were all hoping for.
Payoff.
No, hold on. We were finally hoping. Well, I don't think we really got the payoff.
Hey, at least you got the wrestling gear.
Yeah. So we got Naomi. We got Naomi versus Sonya Deville, and obviously, you know, Sonya's like, oh, well, I'm not alone. Oh, the special guest ring announcer is Natalya, and the special timekeeper is, you know, Shayna Baszler, and it's like, here we go. It's like, you know, so of course everybody starts attacking, you know, trying to attack, you know, Naomi, and then of course, out of nowhere, we get Xylene debuting, her fucking coming out like Raiden from Mortal Kombat with the election, and you know, and freaking Pat McAfee, dude. If that dude doesn't know how to sell somebody's gimmick, he's like, she's got lightning coming out of her hands, you know. You know. So it was good. It was good to see her finally debut after like all those like vignettes and everything
Pat
like
McAfee
that.
McAfee could sell water to the ocean, dude.
Yeah, so that was cool. We got to see her, and obviously, Naomi didn't really get a chance to get her hands on Sonya, but you know, Xylene hit her with a kick to the head. So,
but you know what? I'm actually digging this story because I like how every week they keep you wanting more.
Yeah, and they want Naomi to get her revenge already,
and everybody wants to see Sonya get in the ring, and they give you a little bit, but no. They give you a little bit more, but no. I love this.
They gave you just the tip, just for a second.
Just a tip. I mean, this is quality storytelling.
Yeah,
I like it. I'm enjoying it.
And then we get
I'm a huge Sonya Deville fan. So
okay. Then we get Toni Storm against Charlotte Flair, which obviously this is leading towards know an actual title match.
Hopefully, Toni Storm taking the belt off Flair.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Flair, and then Charlotte Flair becoming all elite.
So I have a problem. I had a problem with last night's last match on
Charlotte
SmackDown.
and Idolo.
I had a problem with last night's main event.
Really, I liked it.
I had a problem with it, and here's my problem with it. So it was RK Bro versus the Usos versus the New Day for who was the current, who they between the three of them, who was the current top tag team in the WWE. RK Bro is so freaking hot right now. Why would you have them lose that match? You know what I mean? It's so questionable. Why would you have them lose that match?
You know why I wasn't surprised? Because it's WWE.
You know,
they're going to use RK Bro's heat to build up another team.
But the
who
problem
does not need it, because neither the Usos nor the New Day
they don't need
that
it.
victory.
They already have it. And the Usos and the New Day are fighting each other at freaking day one.
Yeah. And the New Day is literally the best tag team of this generation. 10-time tag champions.
Yeah.
The Usos are part of the hottest storyline with the Bloodline. RK Bro needed the freaking win.
Yeah.
Not they needed it. But out of the three, they're the ones that it benefited the most.
To continue the story.
Yeah.
So I was kind of a little disappointed in the way that outcome was, but whatever. It was a way to end the show, and obviously King Woods got his new crown, which I thought that crown that they unveiled was a lot better than the one that Roman destroyed.
Listen, Roman destroyed that Burger King crown.
The Burger King crown.
And have you noticed the original crown always sucks? It's always the wrestler pulls out like their own. Like remember King Booker's crown?
Yeah.
Even Corbin's crown was better when he pulled that black one.
Corbin.
King Corbin, but his crown.
Yeah. And what the hell was the shit with? And what the hell was the shit with him and Madcap Moss stealing Adam Pierce's table with Drew McIntyre's sword in the middle of it? So obviously that leads me to believe that they were stealing the sword, and it's going to lead to a McIntyre happy Corbin match.
If anyone needs to be released,
it's Happy Corbin. It's Happy
Madcap Moss.
It's Happy Corbin. To make you happy. So then we move into Rampage. Right out of the gate, we get the Lucha Brothers and FTR, which was a really solid.
By the way, WWE, this is how you start a show.
Exactly. No promos, just right into the match. So the Lucha Brothers wind up defeating FTR to hold on to the AEW tag team belts. However, FTR still holds the AAA belt, which is still baffling to me, but whatever.
It boggles the mind.
Yeah. Then we get Ruby Soho, Anna Jay, and Tay Conti versus Penelope Ford, the Bunny, and Nyla Rose. So I think, what was it? Penelope Ford, the Bunny, and Nyla Rose wound up winning. Mm-hmm. But Nyla Rose fighting Ruby Soho in the TNT, the TBS tournament. So we'll see what happens with that.
Nyla Rose is gonna squash the shit out of Ruby Soho.
Yeah, probably.
It's gonna be
Nyla and Nyla. Yeah, it's gonna be Nyla and Jade for the finals.
Yeah.
It has to be. It has to be,
dude. Yeah, and Jade's gonna go over.
Oh, Jade needs to squash her. Then we finally get the debut of Hook versus Fuego del Sol. I didn't know this until I was a little sad. I was a little disappointed. No, I wasn't disappointed at all. But however, I mean, I can kind of see why you're disappointed, but I did not know that Hook was Taz's son.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Hook is Taz's son.
That was a missed opportunity.
So now I can understand why you might seem a little disappointed, because Taz was the human suplex machine, and his kid should have followed in his footsteps and just start suplexing the shit out of Fuego del Sol.
Listen, Taz founded Suplex City. Okay, Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle built the foundations, and Brock Lesnar became the mayor. This kid, being Taz's son, should have one move in his arsenal:
a suplex.
The suplex.
And he did. He did the one-handed.
Which was great.
Yeah, which was great. So, but again, you know what? We don't know.
We don't really Suplex City in that match.
No, but you got to keep in mind something. You don't know really how green the kid is. Was like this his first match?
Then he shouldn't be in the second match of the night, sir.
But
and he's facing Fuego del Sol. Yeah. If you're going to suplex anyone, it's that motherfucker.
Yeah, because you could toss that dude around like it was nobody's business. But I think
if you wanted him to,
I think he did a really good job. It was kind of cool that he finished him off with like that chokehold. It was kind of almost reminiscent of what the chokehold Tad used to do. So I thought that was a cool little homage thing right there.
But why Hook?
I don't know. Because you bring in the Hook.
I don't know, man.
So I kind of like the kid.
His name should have been Suplex.
Suplex. So I kind of like the kid. I'm interested to see where this goes. I can possibly maybe seeing him have a match at some point down the road with Dante Martin, which I think that would be a solid
great
match.
I'd like to see him face Taz.
Yeah. Then face Taz.
Taz comes back and they win the tag title. So Rey Mysterio and Dominic aren't the only father and son duo to ever win the tag titles. Just because, fuck you. That's why.
Yeah. Then we got the main event, which was Adam Cole versus Wheeler Yuta, which we all know Adam Cole just basically steamrolled that dude.
I mean, who the hell's Wheeler Yuta?
Yeah. So, and then obviously a brawl broke out between Orange Cassidy and Best Friends and the Elite. And then,
it was good stuff.
It was
good stuff.
Yeah, the ending was a good match. So obviously they're going to continue on, and I think obviously at one point Adam Cole's going to have his one-on-one with Orange Cassidy, which should probably be a really good match. So I'm excited to see that. And then that brings us to almost to the end. So the show of the week, good sir.
Why don't you go first?
I'm gonna go Dynamite.
Dynamite. It was close for me. Dynamite definitely had.
I would say NXT. I would say NXT close second.
NXT is my first. Just because it was Gargano's, last appearance, Kyle's last appearance. So, and Braun is being pushed to the moon. So I will just on that alone, I'll say NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
But Dynamite was definitely a great show.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, again, the NXT was a close second. If Von Wagner wasn't on, then NXT would have been number one.
That was the only thing that was holding me back from, I'm like, but
Von Wagner, come on.
But the rest of the show outweighed that one match,
Yeah.
And when the show went off the air, we got to have that badass celebration with Gargano and these guys. So I'll give them just because of that.
Match of the week. This was a no-brainer in my opinion. It was definitely Bryan Danielson versus John Silva.
That's not even a question.
Yeah.
I mean, like that match tore the roof off AEW, WWE, and NXT and ROH.
Yeah.
And they were only on one show. So
yeah, that was a no-brainer. This week's power rankings.
I'm not gonna lie, on my end, they are mostly WWE guys.
Okay.
I'll start it off.
Go ahead. Start it off. Go ahead. Work your way from 10 to 1.
Yep. 10 is Liv Morgan. I think she put up a hell of a show.
Okay.
9, Becky Lynch, because they did great together. 8, Damian Priest. That man is on fire. He has not lost a match in a few months. So 7, Rio. I changed it there. Rio's. I think she's a legit contender to take Britt Baker's belt.
Britt did beat her for the belt. So
yeah, so I think she's legit to take it back. 6, Brock Lesnar. That guy I'm enjoying this run of his more than I probably should. 5, Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
That guy's great. 4, CM Punk. I don't give a shit what you say. Coming out to MJF's music in Long Island.
Oh, trolling. Yeah,
that troll took. He came out with his balls in a wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
3, Bryan Danielson, because that guy is. I almost put him at number 1, honestly, because of just the run he's had taking out the Dark Order.
Yeah.
2, Big E, 1, Roman Reigns, just because they're the champs and they've had great runs. Roman is the hottest commodity in wrestling right now. I don't care if you love him. I don't care if you hate him. Right now, the Tribal Chief is the hottest commodity in wrestling.
Thank you, my Tribal Chief.
Thank you, my Tribal Chief.
And
honorable mention, Paul Heyman. Because
honorable mention, Paul Heyman. He'll turn Heyman. Dude, honestly, you know what I forgot to touch on? The when MJF and I hope you caught this watching Dynamite. I wanted to bring this up because this is something I can totally see you doing. So in the crowd, some dude had a sign that said MJF, my Jewish friend. And I can totally see you making that sign and just standing next to me and have the arrow pointing like right down towards me.
We're gonna do that in the show.
Yeah,
we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that.
That's what you should start calling me. You should start calling me MJF, my Jewish friend.
You're no longer the Radar podcast.
You're my MJF, you're my Jewish friend. So all right, here's my top 10. Starting at number 10, my man, always ready, Matt Cardona. Looking pretty solid on Impact. Like I said, I hope they let him, hold the title, let him win the title and whatnot. Number 9, Adam Cole. Adam Cole, I feel, is, he's getting better, he's getting more acclimated. So I'm hoping, I want to see that Adam Cole versus Orange Cassidy match. Number 8 for me, Braun Breaker. So
low on the list.
So he didn't have a match. But they did make him look
War Games.
Yeah, they did make him look strong at the end of War Games where everyone else was lying down and he was standing. He was the sole man standing.
When DIY both tried to pin him and he kicked out, and then he wrecked everybody in their mamas.
Yeah. So I feel 8 was good enough. 7, I'm going Liv Morgan.
Okay.
I like what she's been doing. I like how they've been, pushing her. Hopefully, they don't blow it with her. Number 6, Kevin Owens. I really like the steel cage match, and I've always been a fan of Kevin Owens, so I think that was good. Number 5 for me is RK Bro.
Yeah, definitely. They're up there, man.
Whether they're wrestling or they're just doing the promos are the best. He had the old school, broadcaster jacket and that stuff. And he's like, and again, you can tell Randy's having just so much.
Dude, he's just enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's just having so much fun with this. And then especially even the whole promo last night with the guys from Jackass, which was, dude, that shit was funny as hell. That was the other thing I forgot to talk about.
We forgot to talk about that,
where he goes, "Oh, I could teach you some wrestling moves," and he freaking just grabs the dude's junk and just freaking like flips him. I was like, oh man, I was like, that's great. Number 4 for me is Big E. So I think Big E's still kind of hanging around in the top 5, doing his thing. Number 3 for me is MJF.
He didn't do shit this week.
He did. He fought in the diamond. He fought in the diamond match. It was homecoming, and just when we thought we were gonna possibly get a face turn, he was like, "Nope, I'm still here, motherfucker." So I enjoyed that.
Okay. It was entertaining. I'll give you that.
Number 2 for me is Bryan Danielson.
Number 2
for me is Bryan Danielson. Again, I think, like you said, I think this dude is just on a tremendous run right now, and I don't see an end in sight.
No, I'm telling you,
for him,
I think the match with Hangman ends like in a DQ or something, and they push this thing a little bit further because
they can't have an end. But they can't have an end in a time limit expiring thing like they did with Kenny.
No, it has to be like the Dark Order comes out and gets revenge on Bryan for taking them out one by one.
Yeah.
Some
kind of like disqualification or something like that.
And they push it because Bryan cannot take a pin right now. Right now he cannot take a pin.
No. And number 1 on top of my list, good sir, is Brock Lesnar. So number one is Brock Lesnar. I am like, so Brock is so over right now.
For a guy that only shows up once a month.
No, but you got to understand something, dude. When was the last time you've seen Lesnar this over?
2002.
And the fact that he can actually hold his own now on the mic and not have Heyman talk for him is fantastic.
And
because it shows a whole nother element to Lesnar, which is
he can flip that switch.
Just
turn
like
to beast mode again. Now, if he gets in the ring and starts actually wrestling the way he used to, I'll put him at number 1 and I'll keep him on number 1. Because 2002, 2003, Brock Lesnar could wrestle circles around anybody. And if you don't believe me, watch those matches against Kurt Angle.
And watch the matches against Angle. Watch the matches against Cena, the Cena, Rock, all those guys. Yeah.
That dude was a wrestling machine.
Yeah, I feel Lesnar at 1 is just appropriate.
What? No Roman Reigns and no CM Punk on your
list? Roman Reigns and no CM Punk. I think
hell just froze over.
I liked CM Punk's promo, but it wasn't enough for me.
I'm combining 2 weeks here because we didn't do a show last week. So my power ranking is a combination of 2 weeks.
Okay. So,
but I'm not gonna lie, man. Brock Lesnar is definitely up there for me.
Yeah,
I haven't enjoyed a run like this.
When was the last time he was this over?
When he was the next big thing, and he used to wrestle in underwear.
I love the next best thing. That was my favorite Brock Lesnar.
He was so good. He had a video game named him.
And the funny thing is, dude, is like I like Brock Lesnar, whether he's heel, whether he's face.
He's never really a face. He's like Austin. He's like that gray area. Yeah. And you know what? Very few wrestlers can pull that off. Austin, Randy,
very true. The Rock.
The Rock. Brock is definitely doing it, man. And Brock's another one like Randy that you can tell he's enjoying this, So it's just so much better. He's not in here to have a 5-minute match. He's in here to have some fun and enjoy himself. And he's, dude, this is the best run he's had.
Yeah, and like I said, in a while. Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying. So, all right, guys, that is going to go ahead and end this week's show. Why don't you guys comment, if you're watching on YouTube, why don't you guys comment below and let us know what you guys think your power rankings are for this week. Or if you have any thoughts or any disagreements with what we said, just comment below and let us know your thoughts and opinions. Yeah, guys, so with that being said, if you guys like what you saw, please be sure to give a thumbs up. If you're new, please be sure to subscribe. As always, make sure you you hit that bell so you get notified every time another video goes live on YouTube. Also, make sure you're checking us out on Spotify and give us a follow and keep listening. And me and Jan will keep cranking out the content. So as always, guys, thanks so much for joining us on another episode of the World Wrestling Podcast, and we will see you guys right back here next week inside the ring.